Hello Shopbox out there. It's a brand new week, so you guys know what that means. A new week with lots of adventures to be had. I'm going to be taking you guys along on my adventures that I get up to this week. It's Monday and I've got a few days off, which meant I didn't have to set any alarms and was able to have a little bit of a lie-in. I got up earlier than planned as I wanted to catch up on Neighbours, and so I caught up on that and had some lemon curd toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. I then got changed and listened to a bit of music, just drawing and colouring in, was reading some more of one day, tidied up my office and my dolls and dollhouse, and then I got myself ready to go off on a walk, and it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies. It then went quite cloudy and then started to rain, but I didn't mind because it was nice and refreshing and it cooled it down a little bit, and it was that nice cold rain. And I was listening to music on my way up on my headphones and got some nice selfies on my way up with sort of flowers and blossoms that I came across whilst on my walk. I then got up to the high street and had a look into the charity shops, went off to one of the book shops. I love the smell of old books so much. And I also went off to one of the card shops and had a look in there, and also to W. Smith's, and then went off to one of the flower shops and got some flower sets from there, and I'll show you guys. They've always got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in there, and I was having a lovely chat with the flower shop keepers in there. I then got some plant sets from there. I love all the pretty succulents and the cactuses and the plant pots. I was having a good look at some of the plants in there with all the pretty patterned leaves, and then I went off and had a look on some more of the charity shops. I then went off into Coffee One and got myself a caramel frappe and a bit of Victoria sponge cake, and I'll show you guys that. The caramel frappe and a bit of Victoria sponge cake that I had in there was so delicious. I only stayed in there for a little bit as it started to rain a little bit, and then the rain died off and the sun came back out, and I then went off to have a look in some more of the shops and got myself some lunch from Co-op, and then went off to the plant shop at the top of the high street and got some plant sets in there, and I'll show you guys those. They've always got such great plants in there and lovely displays. I'm so sad it is closing as of the 27th. I was having a lovely chat with the plant shop keeper in there. I then went off and had a look at some more of the shops, and then I headed home, and on my way back I was listening to some music on my headphones, and I came across these dahlias and got some snaps of those, and I'll show you guys that. As you guys know, dahlias, sunflowers and roses are my three favourite snaps to get photos of, and they're just so beautiful, lovely patterns on and colours. I then got home and had my lunch. I had egg and crust sandwiches and 4 cocktail crisps and a 7-Up from the milk I got from Co-op, and then I was listening to a bit of music and just watching a little bit of Escape to Country, and I got a snap of Bear on the sofa cuddled up with one of his cuddly toys. I'm going to show you guys that. He loves his toys and he's getting so big. I then sorted out my Bleater doll out into a new look, and I'll show you guys that. Here's my Bleater doll's new look, starting off with the shoes. She's got some black boots with some white socks on with some lace on. Then she's got some blue down jeans, and then she's got this turquoise green knitted jumper with some bows all over it and her black hat, and this is the whole look. I'm loving the new outfits that I'm able to make with my Bleater dolls now that I've got those fashion packs I got for my birthday, and I'm loving all the new looks and that turquoise jumper with bows on. I want one of those in my life. And then me and my dad took Bear off for a little walk just around the block, and then we got back and I was just reading some more of One Day and had a cup of tea and some of these raisin biscuits which are so good. And then for my tea we had a little salad picky tea kind of thing, and I'll show you guys that. The tea was so delicious, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then I'm going to be watching today's Home Away, UK Soaps and Love Island, and shall see you with more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Tuesday, and I got up after a lie-in, and it's such a rainy, miserable day. The rain is finally here, and I kind of like it because it's been so hot and it's cooled down a little bit, and I love that earthy, musty rain smell the leaves. And I got up and I got changed and had some peanut butter toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. Watched a little bit of TV, and it's the 15th of July, and it is One Day, and it's such a great book and series. I'm currently reading the book at the moment, and I'm literally this close to finishing. I'm such a slow reader. Unlike my mum and sisters who can read books like that, I am really bad at reading books, because I will start reading like 3 or 4 books at once, because I start reading one book, I start reading another one because I get excited about the book that I've got. So I'm currently focusing on this one book, trying to get that finished. And I posted a TikTok using the little plaque that they put up in Edinburgh with the one day quote celebrating One Day, and I'm showing you guys a snap of that. I love that little plaque they put up in Edinburgh. Cannot believe that it's 37 years ago today that Em and Dex first met, and on the 15th of July of every year they met up. And it's just such a beautiful book and series, and I just love it so much. And I'm so glad I got my best mate Tash onto it as well. It's such a good series. If you have not watched it, definitely check it out. And so brilliantly written and acted, and I just love it. And I went to Edinburgh with Tash and got to see the steps where they kissed and some of the locations where they filmed, and was just mind blown. Just love it so much. I then got myself showered and changed, and I got a mirror selfie from the spare room, and I'm sure you guys, that mirror is so pretty. I love the pretty pattern on the edging of the mirror. And then I got myself ready to go off to the garden centre, and it was lashing down with rain, and so I wasn't going to go. And then the sun came out and it was lovely blue skies, so I then got myself ready and was like, this is my chance, I'm going. And I had my raincoat in my bag just in case, because the weather's been a bit all over the place today. It's been raining, then sunny, then super windy, and so it could have done anything. And I was listening to music on my way up, enjoying the sunshine and blue skies. And a little bit of a breeze, which is nice. It makes it not as hot, so it meant that I wasn't melting. And I got up to the garden centre just as the rain began to get quite heavy. It was a little bit light drizzle, and then it just absolutely lashed it down. So I managed to get in there just in time, and I got some flower starts from there. They knew what they were doing. They had all the dailies in the little tunnel as you entered the garden centre. And I love dailies, as you guys know. All the pretty patterns and colours, they're just so beautiful. I then was just having a look around at all the pretty coloured flowers, and they're just so beautiful and smell so good. I then got a mirror selfie from this mirror surrounded by all these pretty plants. You guys know how much I love a mirror selfie. I then went off to the cafe and just had a pot of tea and some shortbread biscuits. I had about 2.5 cups of tea from that teapot, which was really good, and the shortbread biscuits were so good. I was then chatting with my mate who works in the cafe there, and saw quite a few of the workers from my workplace up there, and was chatting with them. I then chilled in there for a little bit, and then headed off and had a look around some more of the garden centre, and was looking at the homeware, the stationery section, and all the pretty cups and plushies and stationery stuff. And then I got some plants out. They've got such cute plant displays in there. I was having a lovely look around there at all the succulents and cactuses and the pretty patterned plant pots. And then I got a new Dobby's card, as my Dobby's card went missing, unfortunately. So I've got a temporary one until it comes in the post. So I then put that in my Doctor Who wallet, where all my other cards go, to keep them nice and safe. And then I went off and had a look around some more at the garden centre, and ended up getting some more flower starts. I was able to get some really pretty flower starts from there with such lovely colours and patterns. I just love flower and plant photography so much, and garden centres are my happy place. I feel when I go into the garden centre, all my worries and stress and fears seem to just go away, and I could be in there all day if I could. Literally had to stay in there for a little bit because it began to rain again and was lashing down, and it was so heavy. So I waited till the rain had stopped and then headed back. I then went off to one stop on my way back, got myself a drink to have for the rest of my walk back, and got some little party bits as I'm off to Jen's tonight with Tash to continue watching Manifest, and we're going to be having like a picky tea, so I got some bits on there. I then got home and it started to rain again just as I left the shop, so I had to put my coat back on, and I got back and my mum was down at my grandma's and my dad was just sorting stuff around the house, and I then watched a bit of this movie about this guy who has a magic purple crown and what he draws comes to life, and have recorded that as my dad got back from walking the dog and wanted to watch the chase. So I'm going to be watching that with my mum and siblings later on in the week, as I really think they'll enjoy that movie, and it's really cool, really fascinating concept. I wish I had a magic pencil that I could draw things that would come to life, and I'd probably draw a load of Barbie dolls. That would probably make me very happy. And then I was just sorting out my office and my dolls and dollhouse and just reading some more of One Day, and I'm now off to go and watch some episodes of One Day, get the tissues ready because it is bloody emotional, and I'm just going to be chilling before going off to Jigsaw volunteering, and just see when I'm back from Jen's watching Manifest with Tash. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at Jigsaw and being at Jenny's for the TV show watching, and I got to Jigsaw, I got dropped up by my dad, and we were doing a games evening, so we were playing some games, had some hot chocolates. It's really chilled, and then next week we're off to the golf course to do some putting at a putting range, and it's the last one before the summer holidays, and very excited about going off there and doing that. And I then got picked up by my dad and I got dropped down to Jen's, and Tash was on her way as she's currently living outside while her house is having work done, so she had to get the bus to Jen's, and she got off by the house centre and was making her way down, and we had a little like picky tea, and I'm sure you guys that. I'd got some bits from One Stop, and we had sausage rolls and some little like bits of cheese and pepperoni and things like that, and they were so good. And Dean came to get his bike as he'd had to leave his bike there overnight as it had broken down, so he fixed that and ended up staying for a bit of food. And we ended up not watching the TV show in the end as we were just too busy nattering, and had such a lovely evening. And then me and Tash went off to the bus stop that she was getting the bus from, as it was just one corner from mine, and I thanked her for a lovely evening, gave her a big hug, and then I got home and I then was just doing some TikToks and posted some of those, listened to a bit of music, did some drawing and colouring in, and finished writing my journal entry for today and put that away, and had some cereal. And then I was just watching a bit of TV with my mum and having some bear cuddles, and he's getting so big. And then Tash messaged to say that she was home safely, because I was like, just let me know that you're back okay. And I then was just working on some new illustrations and colouring some of those in, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home and Away, UK Soaps and Love Island, and shall see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Wednesday and I got up after a lie-in. I then had some breakfast. I had some lamb toast and a cup of tea and watched a bit of TV, listened to a bit of music, and just did some drawing and colouring in of some of my illustrations. I then tidied up my office and my dolls and dollhouse. I was having some bear cuddles, and he's getting so big now. And then I was just watching some stuff off record that I need to finish watching, and I did some TikToks and watched some TikToks and vlogs and some funny dog and cat videos. And then I got my work rota for next week, so I've written those shifts down in my journal and on a bit of paper to put on my kitchen's pinboard, just to remind me of what shifts I've got. And then I had some lunch. I had a cup of tea and a cheese toastie with some pickle in, and it was so delicious. I then got myself ready to go off for a walk, and it was a lot nicer than it was yesterday. It was really sunny with lovely blue skies. So I got myself ready, got my bag and my headphones on, and headed off on a walk. And I was listening to the music on my walk, and I bumped into one of my friends, so I was having a chat with them. And then I went off down to my town's castle, and I got some snacks of the castle. The castle is so cool. I'm so lucky to have a castle on my doorstep. I've gone there for afternoon teas before. I used to do a tour of there someday, take Tash along, and then I went off into the gardens and I got some flower stats on there. The gardens are so beautifully kept, and I love the water fountain in the courtyard and all the pretty colourful flowers, and the rose garden is just so beautiful, and all the sunflowers they have up at the moment in the gardens. And then I went off into the castle and went off into the lounges where you can have afternoon teas, and I've had a few in there before, and it's always so lovely in there, and there's some really nice music playing, and I got some snaps of the lounges where you can have afternoon teas, and I'll show you guys those. The lounges are so pretty with all the tapestries and all the portraits of King Henry, and all the lights and the candles and the stained glass windows and massive curtains and chandeliers. I then sat in there and had a hot chocolate from there, as you can come in to the castle for like tea and coffees if you just want to do some work and stuff, or if you're just passing by. And I got myself a hot chocolate, and I'll show you guys that. The hot chocolate was so delicious, and I love that table that I was sat at with all the pretty carvings on. I then had to pop to the loo, and even the bathrooms are fancy AF, and I got a mirror selfie from there, and I'll show you guys that. I then went off and had a look at some more of the gardens, and I got some more flower stats, and I'll show you guys those. I love walking around these gardens. There's so much to see, and it's just so beautiful. I then sat on a bench out in the garden and just enjoyed the beautiful sunshine and blue skies. And then I made my way home, and on my way home I was listening to music on headphones again, just having a lovely stroll back. I then got home, and my older sister popped in after work, and we played a few games of this game called Trap the Box, which is a dice game, and it's so much fun. And I got a snap of Bear snuggled up on his bed, and I'll show you guys that. He is so adorable, and he's getting so big, and he's just so playful and really energetic. And my older sister stayed for a little bit, and we were playing this Shut the Box dice game that my daddy got us, and I won a game of that. Getting quite good at that now. Definitely going to be taking that on holiday. Can't believe this time next month we'll be on holiday, and I'm just so excited. I love our family holidays all together. It's going to be so much fun. And I then took Bear off for a walk after my older sister had gone off home, and I took him around the block, and I got home and I had a cup of tea and some of these raisin biscuits, and was reading some more of One Day. So nearly finished reading that, and then I was just working on some illustrations and cut some days in. I just watched some stuff off record that I need to finish watching. Had a lot to catch up on, and was just then watching some episodes of Friends. Joey cracks me up, he's probably one of my favourite characters. And my dad got back from being a fishing that he goes to on Wednesdays, and my mum was getting the tea ready, and it smelled so good. We're having spaghetti bolognese, and then I was just colouring in some more for my illustrations and watching some TikToks and posting some TikToks. And then it was time for tea, and we had spaghetti. Spaghetti has to be one of my favourite meals to have, that or Sunday roast, and it always has to have lots of Parmesan cheese piled on top, the only way. And then I tidied away, and finished writing my journal entry for today, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home and Away, UK Soaps and Love Island, and just see you with more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Thursday and I got up early ready to go off to the garden centre, my happy place, and I had some toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast and listened to a bit of music. I just watched a bit of TV and had some bear cuddles, and then I headed off to go get the bus, and I got to the bus stop just as the bus was arriving, and then got to the garden centre, and the first thing I did when I got to the garden centre was go to the plant section and get some plants that's from there, and I'll show you guys those. I was having a good look around the plant section. We've got a load of new plant displays in there, and I just love all the succulents and cactuses and the pretty plant pots. And then I got a mirror selfie from this plant wall with these two mirrors on and this pretty art print, and I'll show you guys. It's such a pretty mirror, and I love that print as well. I then had a look at the homeware and stationery section and looked at loads of the cute mugs and some plushies, some stationery. Didn't get any of that because I'm trying not to buy any more notebooks or plushies or mugs because I already have enough of things like that, and yeah, trying to be good. And then I went off to a little sweet section. I had a look at the sweet section they have there, and I ended up getting myself some sweets on there, and I'll show you guys a clip of those. I got some sweets from the sweet section from the garden centre. I got some flowers in this one and some sharks in this one. I normally get shrimp and banana, but I thought I'd change up a little bit, and these are so cute. A little treat for myself, and I then went off outside to where all the flowers are and got some flower stats. I was able to get such beautiful flower starts with lovely colours and patterns on. So many dahlias and roses. It's just so beautiful there. And then I went off to the cafe and had some lunch from there. And I had an apple juice, a tuna melt with some salad, and a bit of Victoria sponge cake. And I'll show you guys that. The food was so delicious. I stayed in there for a little bit and just chilled. And it was good to sit down as I've been doing a lot of walking around the garden centre and my legs were killing me. I then headed off and had a look around some more of the garden centre, and I got some more flower starts, and I'll show you guys those. These flowers are so beautiful. I love all the pretty colours and patterns on the flowers, especially all the dahlias and roses and sunflowers. As you guys know, dahlias, sunflowers and roses are my favourite flowers to get snaps of. I then made my way back to get the bus home, and I got to the bus stop just as the bus was arriving, so I timed that perfectly. I then got back, and on my way home I went off to the shops to get some drinks for games night this evening at Jen's, and I'm so excited for that. And then I got home, and my mum and younger sister and my grandma had gone out for lunch just down the road at the Anchor, and my mum and grandma and me and my younger sister were just having a lovely chat, and they had a lovely time at the Anchor. I was just showing some of the flower starts I got from the garden centre to my grandma, and then my mum dropped my grandma home. I then watched a bit of Escape to Country and then having a little bit of a nap, and then my dad took Bear off for a little walk and took him to the park to test out his new toy, and he got back and Bear was absolutely pooped, so he crashed out and was sleeping quite a lot, bless him, and I just can't believe how big he's getting. And then my older brother popped over for a little bit, and he's now gone off home, and I'm now off to just chill before going off to Jen for games night, and just see when I'm back from that. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at Jen's for games night. So I got dropped down to games night by my mum, and just before that I'd gone to the shops to get some bits from there. I then got to games night and I bought some drinks along, and we were out in the garden just before the others arrived, and I got a snap of Jen's tortoises that she's got, and I'm going to show you guys. They're so cute, and they are actually really quick. I didn't realise how quick they were, and they were chowing down on some food. And then Dean and Jamie arrived, and it was me, Jen, Dean and Jamie for games night, and Jamie had brought some pudding, and we then had some pizza and some garlic bread, and had some sticky toffee like cheesecake and some chocolate gâteau for pudding, and played some games. And we played Monopoly Bid, the Crack List, and Muffin Time, and I won a game of Muffin Time and also Monopoly Bid. And I don't normally win games, so I was actually quite chuffed that I managed to win not one but 2 games, and it was a really nice evening, really chilled. And then I got dropped back by Jamie and Tasha's dad, and Tasha come to games night after her shift at work, and she was staying over as she has an open shift the next day. And then I got dropped home, and I was just chatting with my mum about how games night had been, and then I had some cereal. I then finished writing my journal entry for today and put that away, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home and Away, UK Soaps and Love Island. And I don't have morning group tomorrow as we're having a barbecue on Sunday evening, so that means I get to have a little bit of a lie-in tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to, not having to set any alarms, and I shall see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Friday, and you know what that means, almost a weekend. And I got up after a lie-in, and I thought, as we are having a barbecue on Sunday for morning group that I go to on Friday mornings, that it wasn't on today for some reason, but it was. So I didn't set my alarm, and so I slept until my morning group session was over. So I got a load of messages being like, "Are you coming? Are you on your way?" And I was like, "Oh crap!" So I let them know that I'd overslept, and I'd got a bit confused if it was on or not, because I thought it wasn't on today, but it was. So I then had some breakfast. I had some peanut butter toast and a cup of tea, and got showered and changed, listened to a bit of music, did some drawing and colouring in, and was reading some more of One Day and just watching some vlogs and TikToks. And then I was just watching a bit of TV and having some cuddles with Bear. And then I had some lunch, and I had a cheese and pickle toasty with a cup of tea and some biscuits. I had some of these raisin biscuits, which are so delicious. And then I got myself ready to go off for a little stroll, and whilst on my walk I was listening to music on my headphones, and I got some flour snaps, and I'll show you guys those. I had a lovely stroll, and love all the roses out and about, and all the lovely flowers with all the pretty colours and patterns on. They're just so beautiful. I then came across this stream whilst on my walk, and I got a snap of that. It's such a beautiful stream, and I used to live near there when I first moved to where I live now, and remember going for walks through there, and remember getting a frog in my belly boot and being in there. And then I bumped into one of my friends who was walking their dog, and was telling them all about how Bear's getting on. And then I got home, and I had a cup of tea and some biscuits, and was reading some more of One Day, working on some illustrations and colouring some of those in, tidied up my office and my dolls and dollhouse, and got my uniform ready for work this evening. I'm doing a 5-12 close, and I'm now off to go and continue watching some episodes of Doctor Who, and I'm just going to be chilling for work, and we'll see you when I'm back from work with more of the vlog. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at my evening shift at work. So got dropped to work. I got into work and got clocked in and put my bag away and got my drink that I got for work out, and I had a bit of that, as it's so bloody hot at the moment. We need a good thunderstorm to make it less muggy and cool it down a little bit. It's supposed to be getting that on Sunday, when I've got a Carboot sale that I'm going to in the morning and a barbecue in the evening. So I'm hoping that it happens later on in the evening and not during the day, because I don't really want to be getting wet. Have to take a coat just in case, fingers crossed. It says it's supposed to be light drizzle but be dry, so hopefully it doesn't rain too badly. Who knows, this weather could do anything. It's always so unpredictable. I then was just cracking on with some of the cleaning and clothes jobs that we could get done early, and so I chatted to some of the workers and was running some food and drinks, doing some food and drink orders and drinks making, and was even doing some coffee making. And it was me and one of my colleagues, Liv, who I haven't closed with since they've come back to working where we work, and it was really nice getting to close with her, and was helping show her some of the things and where some of the things are that we do with closes, and I can't believe that it actually does go up there. I'm actually quite good at closes considering how I do really like closes. I'd rather do a day shift, just get up and get on with it, whereas in the evening you have the whole day to fret and worry about it. And yeah, I managed to like smash the close shift, and it was me and my colleague Liv until the end of the shift, and we then had a quick drink after work, had a bit of a chat and a chill out, and then I got dropped home by her, and she came in and saw Bear, who was being a bit barky. He was just, I guess it's someone new, so who's just being a bit, he's a bit of a wimp and a bit like doesn't really do well with other people, with new people that he doesn't know. And then he started licking her hand, and then started like calming down a little bit, and then she headed off home. And then for my tea I had mac and cheese, and I'm gonna show you guys that. The mac and cheese was so delicious. I used to hate mac and cheese, but now I love it. The cheeses are better. I then got into my PJs and have not got work until tomorrow evening, and it's me and Tash, and I rang and chatted with Tash, just had a bit of a catch up with her, and on the way to Liv's car when getting dropped back by her, the Wallace little trail hunt, the Wallace Comet thing they've got going on for charge at the moment, the one that was near to our workplace got vandalised by some kids, which is disgusting. It's for charity, and also really nice for people to go around on the little Wallace hunt. So I'm absolutely disgusted by that, and yeah, we can't have anything nice nowadays because people just decide to vandalise it because they think it's fun. It's just really horrible, and we used to grow up, and yeah, absolutely gutted because it was so lovely. I'm glad I got to get a photo and a selfie in front of it because I knew that it wouldn't last long. It was only a matter of time before something like that got ruined, because we can't ever have anything nice, sadly. And yeah, I was just telling Tash about that, and then I was just chatting with her about tomorrow, because it looks like it just might be me and her tomorrow evening, because one of our colleagues is on holiday. He's supposed to be working, and it doesn't look like anyone's been put to cover, but one of our colleagues is in kitchen. So I said if it does get busy, I'll just have to get her to come out on front of house to give us a hand if it's not too busy in kitchen. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And I then was just finishing my journal entry for today, put that away, listened to a bit of music, was just doing a bit of drawing and colouring in, and I'm now off to go and watch today's episode of Home and Away and watch the UK soaps I Love Ireland, and I'm looking forward to having a little bit of a lie-in tomorrow. It's supposed to be really nice, so I might go off for a little walk, get some more flower snaps, may head up to the charge shops, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to not having to set any alarms, and we'll see you in more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Saturday, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely start to your weekend. I got up after a lie-in and I had some cookie crisp cereal. I haven't had cookie crisp cereal in ages. They're so good. I then was watching a bit of the rugby that my dad was watching, and had some bear cuddles with Bear, and he's just so big now and so cuddly. And then I was listening to a bit of music, working on some illustrations and colouring some of those in, and watching some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos, and just reading some more of One Day, and had a cup of tea and some more of these raisin biscuits, which are so good. I then was tidying up my office and my dolls and doll house, and then I was just finishing off some of my illustrations that I've been colouring in, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of one of my new illustrations that I'd finished off. Here's my newest illustration for you guys, starting off with the face. She's got this black edgy bob with a side fringe, and I love the black lip and eyeshadow and the winged eyeliner, and then this plum necklace and plum dress with the shoulder pads and the black belt and acrylic nails, and then the ring, and then these stunning high heel boots. I love that plum colour on the dress and the shoes. I then was listening to a bit of music, and I was listening to a bit of Kylie, and then I just got myself ready to go off for a walk, and it was lovely and sunny. It was beautiful blue skies, and I listened to music on my walk, and I then headed up to the high street, and I went off and had a look at the charge shops, and went off to the bookshop and to W. Smith's and to the card factory, and then I went off to the coffee lab in the high street, one of the new coffee shops, and I got a cookie and a peach iced tea from there. And as soon as I got to the counter to order, they were already making me my peach iced tea. They knew me so well, and I sat and had that. There's such a cozy vibe in there, and they're always so lovely in there. And I said to them, if there's any jobs going, please let me know, because I would love to work there. I then went off and had a look at some more of the shops, and then went off to the plant shop at the top of the high street. I got some plant pots from there. I still can't believe that plant shop is closing. Absolutely gutted. I love that plant shop so much. I was having a lovely chat with the plant shop keeper in there. I was able to get some really nice plants that's on there. They also have such lovely plant displays in there. I then got a mirror selfie from there, from a mirror surrounded by all these plants. I love that mirror with all the plants around it. It's so cute. I then went off and had a look at some more of the shops, and then went off into Aldi and was looking in the Best Buy section in Aldi, and then went off to one of the pubs and had a drink from there, and was chatting with my mate Tom, who works in there. He's going to be moving away in August, so we're having a coffee catch up sometime this week. And yeah, gutted that they're leaving, but also very excited with them for their new adventure that they're going to be going on with his wife and kid. And I was having a lovely catch up with them, and then I headed off and I was listening to music whilst on my walk, and I then went off to my grandpa's grave to have a bit of a chat with him, and then I made my way home, and I got back and I was listening to a bit of music, doing some drawing, colouring in, and had a cup of tea and some biscuits. And my dad has taken Bear off for a walk, and then I was watching a bit of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, such a great film. And I've got work at 6. I'm doing 6 till close, and I have my uniform ready for that. And I'm just going to be finishing off watching Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, write a bit of my journal, and just chill for the rest of the afternoon before going off to work this evening, and just see you with more of the vlog when I'm back from work. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back for being at my evening shift at work. So I got myself ready for work, and my younger brother and his girlfriend had popped in. So just before work, I was having a catch up with them, and then I got dropped to work by my dad. I then got to work, got clocked in and put my bag away and got my drink I got for work out to have some of that. And it was me, Tash and Jamie on shift, a dream team, and we absolutely slayed. And I was running lots of food and drinks, lots of food and drinks orders and drinks making, and cleaning tables, and just getting a load of the clothes and cleaning jobs done that we get done early. And then I was cleaning tables inside as well as outside. I saw lots of people sitting inside and outside. I saw and chatted to some of the regulars, and then Jamie got to go home early as she'd been on a split shift. So then it was just me and Tash on till close, and we had quite a lot of people in, sitting outside having lots of drinks, and so I was just cleaning lots of tables and just keeping myself busy with putting lots of glasses through glass wash and polishing cutlery and putting clean cups and plates away. And then I finished at like 11ish, clocked off, got my bag and headed off, and thanked Tash for a lovely shift. Always have such great shifts with her. And we are planning to go to see How to Train Your Dragon on Tuesday, and I haven't seen that yet, and I love the animated one, so I'm looking forward to seeing that with them and Jamie as well, which should be good. And then I got picked up by my mum and got home, got into my PJs, and then I was just watching a little bit of TV and just chatting with my mum about how my shift had been. And I'm now off for a few days, and tomorrow, weather being all good, fingers crossed, I'm going to be going to a Carboot sale, and I bloody love a Carboot sale, and then going to a barbecue with my morning group in the evening. So that's at 4, and it says it's supposed to rain overnight but be dry in the daytime, so I'm hoping, all being well, that it stays dry, and I'm looking forward to that because I love a Carboot sale, and also looking forward to the morning group barbecue, which would be nice. It's at the place where I go to my morning group. I then had my tea and I had pizza, and I'm sure you guys that. The pizza was so good, and then a little bit of TMI, but I've got an abscess on my just underneath my armpit at the moment, and I was gonna try and pop it and like ease the tension at the moment. Stubborn little thing won't, and so on Monday I'm gonna have to go to the doctors to get some antibiotics because it is very sore, very annoying, and yeah, I just think it's from where I sweat quite a lot when we had like all that heat the other week, so it's probably just like a rash kind of thing, and kind of just needs to get sorted out. It's a pain in the ass, and I've been on painkillers, which is kind of helping a bit, but like it's just been a bit uncomfortable, like in the night especially. So I'm looking forward to getting this thing off, and I've been putting some hot water, like hot towels, like with hot water, and like holding it under there. It's supposed to help like it ease, so hopefully can get that sorted out. And I'm now off to go and watch some episodes of Doctor Who, and it's going to be finishing writing my journal entry for today. I'll probably just work on some illustrations and colour some days in and just chill, and just see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Sunday, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely Sunday rest. I got up early ready to go off to a car boot sale, and my dad and myself went off and collected my older sister from hers, and then we headed off to the car boot sale down at the rugby club. And my older brother and his girlfriend were already there, and we had a look around at the stalls, and then I got myself a drink and a bit of cake from one of the little cake stalls they had. And then it started to lash down with rain. It did say that it was going to rain, and it was cloudy but dry, and then the heavens opened. So then we made our way back, and we dropped my older sister back at hers and got back, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of some of the things that I got from the car boot sale. Here are some things I got from the car boot sale I went to this morning. Starting off with these clothes, I got a little bag full of a load of doll clothes. There's this beautiful floral pink heart cut gown, which is so pretty. I love the rose print on there, and this one as well with lots of lovely flowers on. Then I've got some shorts, a t-shirt, and then this shirt, some trousers, this top as well, and then this other top, a swimming costume, and these funky patterned leggings, and then this top that can go with that, and it says Malibu on. Yep, there it says Malibu on. Then this floral black dress, and then this top, and these trousers can go together or go with that, or this t-shirt, and lots of different outfits that I can make with this. A lot of outfits that I've got, all these clothes. Can't wait to make some new outfits with these doll clothes. And then there's some doll shoes and a handbag. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys is this ballerina Barbie doll that I got. And I remember having this doll as a kid, but I chopped the hair off, so I've now got her again, and she's got these pretty ballet shoes on, and if you press a button on her leg, this skirt actually spins around, but there's no batteries at the moment, so I'll be getting some batteries for her, and she's just so pretty. I can't wait to create some new outfits using the clothes I got from the car boot sale, and that ballerina Barbie doll I used to have as a kid, and I'm so glad I've got that back in my collection. We then made our way back, and it started to lash down with rain, and we dropped my older sister back to hers, got back, and I was watching a bit of TV and listened to a bit of music, and then my older brother and his girlfriend had gone off to Aldi and to Costa, and they got back to ours to stay for the afternoon, and they'd got Bear a toot cuddly bird toy for him, and which is always a clip of him with that. What you got there, Bear boy? You got your toot. He loved that bird toy and spent so long playing with that and chucking it around the room, and loves his cuddly toys, bless him. And then I got showered, and me, and my older brother and sister and my younger sister were playing a game of Ludo, and I won, and it was getting pretty competitive, as it always does with me and my family, as we can be a little bit competitive, but it was super fun. And then my older sister came over around lunchtime and had bought some French stick and some cheese and some ham and some crisps for us to make some sandwiches for our lunch. And I had a cheese and pickle little baguette with some full cocktail crisps, which are my favourite type of crisps. And then we were watching a bit of Mamma Mia, such a great film. Can't believe they're making a third one, so excited for that. And then I was just listening to a bit of music, do some drawing, colouring in, and we do some more of one day, and just tidying up my office and my dolls and doll house, and having a little bit of a nap. And then I got myself ready to go off to my morning group's barbecue that I was going to at 4 o'clock. And my dad dropped me there, and on the way there I went off to the shops to get some Pringles, as I was tasked with getting some crisps for the barbecue. I then got to morning group for the barbecue, and I was the first one there. And whilst waiting for the others to arrive, I was just helping set up the barbecue and the barbecue spread. And then I had to pop to the loo, and I got a selfie from there, and I'll show you guys that. I love the fish on the tiles, they're so cute. Then the others arrived, and we brought all the stuff out into the table out in the garden, and we had our barbecue, and I'll show you guys a photo of the food that we had. The barbecue was so delicious, and we sat out in the sunshine, and it had been a little bit gloomy, and then by 4 o'clock the sun came out and it was lovely blue skies, a little bit windy, but stayed dry thankfully, so we were able to have it out in the gardens, and the gardens are so beautiful. And I got a dahlia snap, and I'm going to show you guys. As you guys know, sunflowers, roses and dahlias are my favourite type of flower to get snaps of, and those dahlias are so beautiful, such pretty colours. And then we had some chocolate cake that the lady who was the morning group had made, and it was so delicious. I then got picked up by my dad, got home, and my dad had brought my grandma over for tea, and my mum and my grandma were just sorting out stuff for my grandma at moves house. And then my older sister and younger sister were doing the tea, getting the roast ready, and it smelled so good. And then I just watched some stuff off record. I just finished watching, and my grandma had found some doll things that she was going to be giving me, but she put them somewhere safe and had forgotten where they were, and had found them when helping clear out the house with my dad, ready for her when she's moving. And I'll show you guys a clip of those. My grandma was clearing out her house as she's going to be moving, and she found these doll clothes that she'd got for me ages ago, and she put them somewhere safe and then forgot where they were. So I've now got them, and some Ken shoes and this Barbie outfit with this necklace and high heels and this dress, which is so pretty. And I can't wait to put these on my Breezo doll and those shoes for my Ken dolls. I'm looking forward to sorting it out tomorrow. And I then was just listening to a bit of Kylie, and then I just watched some TikToks and vlogs and funny dog and cat videos, and posted some new TikToks. And then it was time for tea, and I only had a small roast because I'd had a barbecue for my lunch, and baguette I'd had early on. It was more like a brunch kind of thing, as I didn't manage to have breakfast because we had to go to Carboot. So I had my roast, and we sat out in the table in the dining room and had that, and also had some meringue with strawberries and cream for our pudding, and I'll show you guys that. The roast dinner and the meringue and strawberries and cream were so delicious. I didn't help tidy away the kitchen, and then we were watching a little bit of Antiques Roadshow, and then my older sister headed off home, and she dropped our grandma home, as they just live around the corner from each other for now. And then I was just listening to a bit of music, just watching some vlogs and TikToks, and writing some of my journal entry for today. And then I got myself ready to go off for a little evening stroll, and I got a snap of this beautiful chalk artwork of some jellyfish on this wall, and I'm going to show you guys that. I've said this lots of times before in my vlogs, but I just love the things that I come across on my walks, and it's just so beautiful. I then got back and I had a cup of tea and some biscuits and just read some more of One Day and finished writing my journal entry for today and put that away. And I'm now off to go and watch today's newest episode of Love Island, and I've got Monday, Tuesday off, and I'm not on work till Wednesday evening. And tomorrow I'm planning to get my hair cut and also go to the doctors and get this abscess seen to. Hopefully they can either drain it or give me some antibiotics for it, because it's pretty painful at the moment. So I just want it off, or at least get it like treated so that it'll go away, because I'm fed up with it now. And I hope you guys have all had a lovely week and weekend, and all have a lovely new week ahead, and I shall see you with a new vlog coming very soon.